Hello, guys and gals and fellows and fellers. Welcome to the Speaking Nerd Podcast, where you can find all things geeky, all things nerdy, all things super cool, like us.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Okay, so today's podcast, we're going to be doing something just a little bit different. Um, Rather than talk about, a topic such as, news or, a certain thing like, I don't know, cartoons or whatever, I'm going to ask you guys a question and I want to see how long we can carry this conversation for. Um, And this has been on my mind, a lot lately with various announcements related to superhero movies and all that. So the question I
Cough,
want to
cough,
ask you
Spider-Man
guys,
3, cough, cough.
oh my god. So the question I want to ask you guys is comic book movie fatigue setting in? And I'm gonna start with Swifty, and I want you to give your reason as to why or why not it is.
Okay, my answer is no. I don't think it's setting in. For me, at least. I enjoy the releases of superhero stuff, and I think that the only people that it would be fatiguing for is superhero fans because people who don't watch superhero movies don't give a shit. Um, so obviously to them, to people who just like watch the main stuff, like the MCU stuff, because it's more of MCU is more of, for people who aren't comic fans, it's more of a pop culture thing. Like, oh, I gotta go see Avengers, so
Mm-hmm.
they're not gonna really care how much superhero stuff is releasing. I mean, you might have the normal, you know, normal person go, holy shit, there's a lot of superhero movies coming out, damn. But nobody's gonna be like, fuck, we might get a new Batman the Animated Series. Fucking shit, we're done. The world's end. The world's ending. It's over. Or like, I think comic fatigue can set in for certain things in the comic book world. I would not argue that. I think that like this excessive casting for Spider-Man 3 is getting a little insane, and also the casting and recasting and firing and all this shit for the DCEU is getting a little tiring. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with the majority of it. I mean, I just don't want them to. I guess it's a yes and no then, because fatigue in the sense of I don't want them to keep doing the same thing over and over again, like rehashing the same stories over and over again with like the same plots.
Right.
Um, but I don't see anything wrong with them, you know, keep going. I'm fine with it. It's just I think it's we haven't seen something. I mean, Wonder Woman came out, but we haven't really seen a whole slew of superhero films in a while since 2019. So, um, I think on a larger scale, no, it's not really setting in for me, but I could see why some people it could set in for. So that's my take.
All right. Um, AJ, what do you think? Is fatigue setting in? Is it not? Tell us what you think.
Okay, I have a few thoughts on the subject. I mean, as probably one of the biggest superhero fans of all time, I mean, because considering I did punch a preacher as a 5-year-old because I thought it was Batman, but that's another story for another day.
Mm-hmm.
But um, I think that the superhero, like the comic book movie genre, could potentially go the way of the Western if they don't change.
Mm-hmm.
Because because we're basically in the Silver Age or whatever of the superhero movie. Because Golden Age was like, Reeves, Sam Raimi, all that,
Mm-hmm.
and for superhero movies not to become stale, which I can tell that they're beginning to,
Yeah.
um, they're gonna have to change, reinvent, you know, keep things interesting. Like what comic books did in the 70s, like making Batman Dark and Ridley again, making Spider-Man movies, Gwen Stacy, all that. It's all about reinventing and keeping things interesting for the viewer. I think I'm really excited for what DC's got going on, but in the front for Marvel, not so much. I mean, they're overstuffing the Spider-Man movie, which is really I'm really cautious about it. Like, I'm excited for it, but I feel like this could be the wrong path to go down with this movie. And I feel like they're not putting with the plans I've heard thus far. There's not a lot of interesting movies on the horizon in the Marvel front. I mean, Shang-Chi sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm all for another Paul Rudd Ant-Man movie. But that's about it, considering the Fantastic Four movie is going to be directed by the guy who makes the Spider-Man movies.
Right. Okay.
So that's how I feel on the subject. I think if they don't, try to make things interesting again, that it could potentially, like, comic movie fatigue could begin to set in.
Yeah. Just to get my thoughts out of the way, and like for the most part, I'm leaning towards no, because there's a lot of great stuff to look forward to, a lot of interesting projects and ideas that are down the pipeline. But there is a part of me, especially recently over the last couple years, where it is kind of a little tiring with these superhero movies. And but for every movie that disappoints me, like just recently with Wonder Woman 1984, which I thought was a fine movie, but had a lot of issues in hindsight. But there's still stuff like down the line which I'm still really excited to see, like the Batman Spider-Verse 2, not the live action one.
Not the live action one, please not.
Yeah, like Into the Spider-Verse 2 I'm excited about, and the Flash movie definitely. But
I like for every Spider-Man Far From Home, we have Infinity War.
Yeah. But now that we pretty much have our general thoughts, I kind of wanted to go a little like in deep with some of these companies and the movies that they're trying to put out. And I feel like the first place we should really start is with Marvel and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I feel like that's the line of movies which I'm invested in, and I have been for over a decade now. But I feel like after Endgame and pretty much finishing up their story arc, like they really don't know where to go from here. And they have a bunch of movies and TV shows down the line, and like some things like the Eternals is not really gonna
intrigue most people.
Yeah.
Except for like the 10 people that actually read the Eternal comics.
I was gonna say the 3 people, but it's
which I've probably offended if they're in your audience.
Yeah, but it's just like I say that, and then I remember that they made a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and they made it work.
I mean, they also did Iron Man, and he wasn't as popular as like Spider-Man.
He was like like D tier Marvel hero at most.
He's a household name now, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty much like one of the pioneers of Marvel today. And
Yeah.
but
Plus Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, I don't know. Like I like the Ant-Man movies, but like, you know,
But Paul Rudd.
he's funny, but it's just like there's nothing more to that besides Paul Rudd's funny, and I like Michael
Michael
Douglas and
Douglas.
Evangeline Lilly, but
Michael Douglas is just a great actor.
yeah. But those movies, like every time I watch them, they're good for a laugh, but like they don't really.
It's for the actor. The actors are the best part of it.
Yeah, but like the story doesn't really like supplement anything.
I do admit, Ant-Man the Wasp has like a pretty bad story, but it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the first Ant-Man is one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Yeah. But yeah, it's in terms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I feel like uh for every WandaVision, there's like a Black Widow or Eternals movie that just kind of,
Or Inhumans.
or well, they're not making an Inhumans movie anymore. I don't think.
Remember, there's a TV show.
That's not canon anymore. Goddamn. But it's stuff like that where it's like, I want to be excited for this, and I feel even if it comes out, it's gonna do fine, but it's not really gonna be,
I mean,
innovative.
literally any Marvel movie will do fine because everybody will go to it because it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah. But
But it's not gonna be. I mean, if they're not putting their best stuff out,
But Swifty, how do you feel about the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward, and you know, the kind of things that they're trying to do now with Phase 4 and um, all that?
Well, okay, so see, some of the stuff they're trying to do obviously is with the TV shows, um, which I'm fine with. I mean, I'm looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier, and as WandaVision progresses, I'm looking more forward to that. I'm echoing really bad on some of these things. But and Loki, by the way, I forgot about that. But there's not that much there. I mean, there's Black Widow, which we still haven't gotten yet. Eternals, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Thor, which I'm really looking forward to. Actually, I'm really looking forward to Thor. And Fantastic Four, I'm looking forward to. Doctor Strange, though, is probably my most anticipated movie for Phase 4. Mostly because I'm curious to see how Sam Raimi kind of delves into the character. Obviously, I'm guessing it'll be a similar vibe to the Spider-Man movies, just because it's Raimi directing it, and he has a way of how he likes his cinematography and how he likes his actors to be. But I'm looking really forward to that movie. And obviously Spider-Man I'm looking forward to, but I have my major concerns, obviously, as you guys probably do as well. And I grew up being Spider-Man was before Batman, I was a Spider-Man fan.
Mm-hmm.
And all I've ever wanted is to see Spider-Man get taken in the right direction. And I feel like every time someone gets close to getting in the right direction, it gets screwed up a little bit. Like Homecoming to me was okay. I think John Watts misunderstood the character. Far From Home was a lot better than Homecoming. I liked it a lot, but like most of the every villain we've seen so far in the Spider-Man movies are Iron Man villains. They're against Iron Man, and Spider-Man's just in their way. And I want to see something different in the third movie. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, because all this casting stuff, we have no idea what the hell the story is going to be revolved around. And I hope it's not just like a prequel to Multiverse of Madness. And it's just like setting that movie up.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine to have elements of a setup, but I really want to see Spider-Man have his own villains and start to kind of like build up this rogues gallery. I don't know how they're going to do the Tom Holland casting thing because I know Sony wants Spider-Man back. But, you know, I'm not as, like, excited as a lot of people are, but I'm excited for those select few. I honestly could give two shits about What If, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about it at all. But yeah, I mean, there's not too much either. I mean, obviously, if everyone in the, watching this wants to, know the list, it would be Black Widow, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Eternals, Shang-Chi, WandaVision, which we just got, which is started, Doctor Strange, Loki, What If, Thor, Fantastic Four, Hawkeye, and Blade, I think, and Moon Knight and all that stuff. So it's like all the stuff is more side stuff to me. Like I'm curious as to how they're gonna set all this up, and then how they're gonna end the MCU if it ever does end. I don't know. There's so many questions I have about the MCU, and none of them have answers.
I think I know what they're trying to do.
What's that?
I think they're really trying to phase the Marvel movies into their shows, because then they won't have to pay the theaters, and the media would just go straight to the consumer. And Kevin Feige is all into the Disney Plus shows, so I think that's really what he's trying to do.
That makes me sad in hindsight because I feel
it makes me really sad.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big proponent for the theater experience.
Yeah.
Because I went to the movie theater too many times last year, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, wait, so you're basically saying Feige is going to move all of Marvel to Disney Plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's a financially sound plan, but it's not good for theater.
Film has so many, categories, and it has so many boundaries that we haven't even touched yet. Like, I mean, there's comedies and dramas and crime films and all this stuff, and losing that in theaters isn't like a huge loss in the bigger picture, but it's definitely a loss for comic fans who can't watch on Disney Plus and stuff. And the douchebags out there are going to be like, oh, we'll just buy Disney Plus. Well, that's not how the world works. When you have a job and you have people to pay for and to feed, it's not that simple. So I think that it's a loss for comic fans who can't see it, but to film, it's not a huge tragedy. So that's my take on it.
I agree that the guy who said that probably gets Disney Plus through his mom.
I agree. So yeah, that's my take. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think?
It's definitely not a huge loss to film, because film isn't just superhero movies, even though some people don't realize it yet.
Well, to me anyway, a lot of the best films ever made aren't even close to superhero movies.
Mm-hmm. Like my favorite film is The Untouchables, and that's nowhere close to a superhero movie.
Yeah, and like look at things like The Shining and Taxi Driver and Gone with the Wind. Um, Films like that are timeless because they're so real and people can connect to them.
Yeah,
Whereas like superheroes, you can connect to the characters. Like I can connect to Batman and Spider Man.
yeah.
Um,
The best superhero movie I think would be that it's a great film,
right.
but not there's not a lot of superhero movies that are like that. I'd say Superman, Superman, the movie. I'd say that's a pretty great film.
Oh yeah, I would too.
But like I can't really say that most of the MCU
Well,
are
I'm not saying superhero movies like there isn't great superhero films in the
yeah,
MCU and the DCEU and the extra universes like the Nolan verse and all that. I think The Dark Knight is one of the greatest films ever made.
mhm.
Um, and I
I,
think
I
that
think
Spider-Man
they
2
have
is
the
one of the greatest
capacity.
movies. Um,
I definitely think they have a capacity to be a great film, but a lot of the time
well, I mean,
that isn't
I,
achieved.
I think that Batman '89 and stuff
It's
are great films,
yeah,
but I'm
it's
just
not a
saying
great
on a larger scale, comic films haven't been around that long as like
yeah.
huge movies and blockbuster hits, and only
I
for
mean,
the past 35 years have they been really dominating. Um, Movies
it,
before that were just seriously sophisticated. I mean, I think there's a reason why a lot of films back then were better than the
mhm.
films that are, considered great now. I mean, and even the films that are considered great now, like the true great films, are not superhero films like that are winning Oscars and stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
Because no superhero movie will ever win an Oscar.
well, actually, The Dark Knight did, but
I think Logan got one for something.
Spider Verse got one too.
Spider Verse, yeah, Spider Verse. But like, you're never gonna see Chris Evans get Best Actor,
Yeah,
or like, um, get Best Screenplay for a movie, just because a lot of superhero movies are the same formula, which is again back to my other point is why I hope that they're going in a different direction with future superhero movies. Um, because
yeah.
I hate to
I
see
just
them
need so
rehash things.
I need to change things up a bit.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of movies I'm excited about most of all are the ones that I know will, elevate the genre and, do something, completely outside the norm. Um,
Yeah, like the Batman.
yeah.
Well,
And,
yeah, Marvel. I was gonna ask you what movies do you think are gonna do that?
um, hmm, I'm, I'm not sure, to be honest. Uh, but, man, I'm just drawing a blank here.
I mean, definitely the Batman and Spider Verse 2.
Yeah, like those are definitely a couple that'll, you know, be outside of the norm and, um, will definitely.
I think the next the next Thor movie has the potential because Taika's a really good director.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think Thor: Love and Thunder is gonna be like Ragnarok, like structure wise. Um, and Thor's character is different now, so I'm curious to see how it actually plays out. He's not the same Thor from like Thor 1 or the Dark World, you know. Uh, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see if it moves it forward or it's just like another Ant Man where it's like comedy after comedy.
Yeah, I feel like
But
with Thor,
you know what superhero movie really changed the genre?
what's that? Which one?
My superhero movies.
Hmm. So anyway, about Thor Love and Thunder. Um, I don't know. I feel like it would be like much of what they did with, Thor Ragnarok, where it's just like, there is a story there, but most of it is just them, trying to have a good time and, make you laugh and stuff, which I mean, I'm in one of those camps where I think the first Thor is the best of his, trilogy of his movies.
But the whole thing was shot in a Dutch angle.
Yeah, but
I
yeah,
Well, you know
personally
what?
love.
I think that it's unfortunate that our opinions, like, I would probably agree with you that Thor one was probably the best, stuck true to the character,
mm-hmm.
um, and had the most interesting story. I think, um, because I mean, Thor Ragnarok was basically fucking Planet Hulk, like that animated movie,
Yeah,
um, which was great, by the way. I love that movie, but like it sucks that our opinions are considered like stupid by the mainstream like Marvel fans. Like if we have that opinion, they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, you just don't like Marvel then." Like
oh yeah,
if I don't fucking bow down to everything they do and like agree with every decision they make, it's like I'm like a Marvel hater. But I just want them to go in the right direction. That's all. Like,
yeah,
I think we all three of us do because I mean I'm a huge Marvel fan. I mean I don't always talk about Marvel, but I am a huge Marvel fan, and I want them to make the best movies possible for my enjoyment.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
I want the movies to be good, and when they're not, I'll just say it because I care about these characters.
right. I feel like another reason as to why I think, fatigue is sort of there is the fan base because I
They're the
mean,
worst.
yeah, some of them are downright disgusting and
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, as much as, we're all excited to see the Zack Snyder Justice League, I think we can all agree that the fan base for that, majority of them are just like fucking nuts.
Dude,
Should be,
toxic beyond belief.
yeah.
I'd say
They like hail Snyder as the savior of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it's a mixed bag because there's at least there's like two types of Snyder fans. It's like the crazy person, and then there's the pretty chill people.
I
Which
actually don't believe that there's and I used to be in the same boat where I was like, yeah, there's two camps. There's the really crazy ones and the chill people. I've gone from that and they're just fucking all insane. They're all crazy, in my opinion. That like even if they're nice, it's like they'll still say things in like little like comments. They'll be like, "Oh my god, he did this the best," and then if you disagree, they're like,
You're wrong.
yeah, well, I don't see your director doing this." Like, bro, like get a hold of yourself, fucking 23-year-old living with your mama. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care if you're living with your mama. I don't care.
I was gonna say that feels like an attack on a lot of
No,
people.
no, no. You know what I hate though? People who like, well, basically hypocrites, but people who say, "Well, I'm not like, I don't live with my mama. That shit's stupid." And they make fun of you for living with your mom, and
Oh
then
yeah.
and then you find out that they're living with their mom too.
or maybe they just don't have a good relationship with their mom.
Or they're just dicks.
Yep.
Some people, as Alfred once said, some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah. Oh my god.
By the way, what do you guys think of the new Joker design that we sort of saw?
I think it looks good. I mean, anything's an upgrade from the Joker in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Like literally anything is an upgrade from that.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. We didn't really see much, but I can tell he has long hair, so I'm happy about that.
I think it kind of looks like a mix of the design from The Dark Knight and this Joker.
Yeah, I just hope we don't have fucking tattoos for days. You
I
know what I
swear,
mean?
if she has one tattoo, I'm
But
gonna cry.
but we gotta know that he's damaged, guys. Like,
Right.
No, no, I don't want the Joker to be a SoundCloud rapper.
oh my.
His hair actually more reminds me of the Joker movie than it does Heath Ledger.
Uh,
It's more straight and put together, at least from the blurred freaking picture that we saw. Um,
Zack Snyder loves those blurs.
hmm?
I said Zack Snyder loves those blurs.
Oh yeah, I know.
Uh,
I'm just stoked that Justice League is coming out so soon. Um, very exciting.
mm,
And what is it? I mean, it's a little over a month away, but I mean, it's 6 weeks away. I mean, that's crazy. It
yeah,
felt
it's
like in August it was never gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like it was so far away.
yeah, and then it was just like, yeah, we're doing it in March. We just dropped that out of nowhere and whatever. Um,
I do wonder how long they've been working on it.
Well, it was announced in 2020 of May.
Because I feel like they would have had to have been working on it longer than we think.
Well, obviously since 2019, because Zack Snyder can't just announce something in the beginning of 2020 with a poster already, and
Yeah.
without some type of pre thing, you know. A lot of it was just reshoots, though. I mean, principal photography really doesn't take that long.
and I mean,
Unless
The Batman principal photography started in what was it, like? I don't know. It was sometime last year. I think it was no. I think it was October. No, November and December of 2019, and then COVID hit,
yeah, no, it was
and they said
pretty
we're never.
like, I want to say it was pretty like late 2019, early 2020, but
Yeah, and that's interesting too because Robert Pattinson had literally been picked as Batman like that May. So, but I was glad because it kind of gave it like a seal for the movie. Like, okay, they're not gonna go through any other freaking actors. Because we all know that with a lot of times with superheroes, like obviously people like Batman and Spider-Man, they always go through so many people, and it feels like we're never gonna get like an answer of who it is
yeah,
officially.
yeah,
I'm
that's
just
one of
glad
the
this.
that's one of
No,
the
go ahead,
things
Mark.
is that like they have to keep these universes going, and they gotta you know keep up with the times and stuff. And with the more popular characters, it's you know I could see why further recast and stuff, but it's just like we already had another version of Batman like 2 years prior, and I don't know.
and then we had another version of Batman a little bit before that.
You know what I wish? I wish like we can go back to a time where like a superhero movie was just a superhero movie, and it didn't really
Mhm.
need to set up a universe. It didn't really need to like backpedal off of another movie. Like it can just be its own thing, and if it did well enough, then it got a sequel. If it didn't do well enough, then
I
Yeah,
miss that
whatever.
too. That I miss the days where we didn't have cinematic universes.
mhm.
Which is why I'm glad the Batman is gonna be its own thing.
Yeah, I
Like
think that's
now
a
they
really,
fucking connected everything with the fucking multiverse shit.
Mm,
So that everything's coming back anyway. It's like nothing is standalone anymore.
no.
Like Batman, the new one, isn't even technically its own. I mean, it's its own universe, but it's still an Elseworld. Like it's a fucking Elseworld movie.
Yeah.
apparently
And
It's Earth 2.
yeah,
God. Why?
I know. Just have it be the fucking Pattonverse.
Yeah, or the reverse. Actually, better than that because both the director and writer is named Matt.
I think Pattonverse is the best because it was a joke, as in like they're gonna patent the movie Pattonverse. Trashy joke.
That
Trashy dad
oh man, that hurt.
joke. Marvel's reaction. Oh man.
That hurt. Um, but yeah, it's just like with all these stuff coming out, and there are some projects that definitely look out of this world awesome. It's just like a bunch of it, like especially with the MCU, which I love to death, but even then, like I'm still like getting kind of sick of, and this is right in the middle of like my WandaVision binge, which I've been loving so far. But even that, even I know where I can draw the line.
What episode is that on?
We're on episode 4, like 5 tomorrow.
I've only seen the first 2 episodes.
I haven't seen any, so I'm like trash.
Oh.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're all trash.
We're all
Should call this the Speaking Trash podcast.
We're YouTubers, of course we're trash.
Yeah, we're either right about all this, or we're very, very wrong. So
yeah,
take your pick.
Take your pick.
But final thoughts, I guess. I don't know.
I hope these new movies, like at least some of them, revitalize the comic movie genre. Because the Batman's gonna be awesome, and Spider-Verse 2 is gonna be awesome. I'm just really excited for those.
Swifty.
My final thoughts would be this. I'm not that excited for the MCU stuff, except for a select few. I'm very excited for the very few films that we know about in the DC universe, and my hopes is that something is done where we get kind of a revival in formulas, I guess, for movies in the superhero genre, because I don't want to see the same stories keep going on and on and on, because then I will not watch the movies anymore. So that's me.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, if they know how to keep things fresh and, innovative, then, we're pretty much all golden. And, you know, even with the movies that I'm not really excited about, I hope that, they somehow keep it fresh and, keep me invested and all that. Also, another thing is that, like, I get the idea of releasing, maybe a couple movies in the year, but I don't think you need to jam pack every month with, a big superhero endeavor. Like, I feel like if you just slow down a little bit and, hold back some releases and not release as much, then, that'll definitely.
They've literally never slowed down, which I wish they would.
Yeah.
Like, just pace yourself, guys. Pace yourself. We'll still be here.
Look at 2018, and that'll pretty much prove my point there.
Yep.
But anyway, that was the podcast.
That was the podcast.
Oh boy.
And if you've not liked and subscribed to this YouTube channel, I hate you.
Well, actually, before we end, why don't we talk about what we're going to be doing on the channels?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Do you want to start off?
Actually, I think the leader should start it off. So, Marvel DC
Okay,
gang.
I will.
Oh God, this will be good. So tell us, what do you have on the docket that is definitely coming out and not being delayed for like 6 months?
Or for another 2 years, maybe.
Did no one watch my Die Hard video? One of my
Oh,
most
you mean
viewed
the
videos.
video that was like mostly just like a
Like
fireplace?
mostly just fireplace. It's supposed to resemble Christmas time and sort of a warm atmosphere, and it's supposed to play out the content, you know?
I know, but it was literally
I know,
25
but it was
minutes.
literally 25 minutes. Just appreciate the art, man. Appreciate the art.
Okay.
I'm an artist. If you haven't noticed, yeah,
Um,
I'm planning. Okay, I have many plans. I'm going to do. I'm going to do a video for each of my top 10 favorite movies.
right.
I also want to do the same for favorite live action TV shows and favorite cartoons. And I also been working on. I don't know if either of you've seen Doctor Who, but I've been working on a fan season of Doctor Who with some friends of mine on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I just finished writing the first episode, and I'm really excited about that. We're gonna make it into like a audio drama.
Okay. Okay, so why don't you go next, Swifty? Whenever. So what do you got planned?
Um, well, lately I haven't been working on too many videos due to the lack of news really that's been in the superhero world. But I think what I'm gonna start doing is doing some kind of cool like photo mode, Arkham Knight photo mode videos, just compilations of photos that
Videos,
I've
just
taken.
compilations, photos I take.
Also, actually, I do have a video I'm working on. I'm currently writing a script for a video that is going to be probably 40 minutes
30
long.
minutes.
Wow. It's called The Psychology of Batman Does It Work in the Real World?
I didn't tell me about that.
And, you know, obviously they make it work in the comics, but I want to delve into the more deeper question of is it actually possible to, if we were put into the situations Batman was in, is it possible to not ever kill someone, even if the whole world was at stake?
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to delve into different, you know, things that could happen potentially, um, and just see if it all checks out here in reality.
Right.
Obviously, if we can think of it, it's possible. So already right there, it's like 25% of the way there. If a human being can think of it, it's possible. With some things, like with something we can create, it's possible because we thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get in with temptations and real world problems, and that's when things get kind of distant from, you know. But yeah, so that's the plan. I'm working on a top 5 animated movie or TV show ranking of the bat suits. Um, so yeah, that's some stuff I hope to get out, and I'm trying to get into doing stop motions. Believe it or not, I used to be really into it when I was younger, but I have more of a collection of figures now, and I'm actually thinking of doing like really good stop motions, not like shitty ones, but good lighting, good story, like actually put a story to them, and yeah, so that's all of everything that I'm gonna be basically be doing, and hopefully some live streams in there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't really say much for what I'm doing. You guys already know what I'm doing. Besides, like, I got the podcast every week, and I'm working on my next review. So,
But the viewer doesn't know what you're doing.
I made an update video. God damn it! I made it last month.
Maybe they didn't see the update video. Maybe they made the February update.
No. Yeah, I also have like a collaboration that I've been meaning to get around to with Swifty. So hopefully we can get that done pretty soon. Um,
Which one? The
the ranking one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I see. I was collaborating with Swifty.
What? I literally didn't hear what he said.
It's like I know you two already had a video like in the works, but like, come on, man! I already did two. We already did four.
It
Two on
was
my
never
channel,
even in
two
the
on
works
his.
because freaking AJ never even recorded. Well, he kind of recorded his part, but it was really
Okay.
interestingly bad.
First, I was sick, and then I burned my hand.
Which and we all know that burning a hand means you can't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding.
I had a blister on my finger, and it grew to an insurmountable size.
Well, look. Long story short, everyone is he did record the part for his video, but there was some technical difficulties on his end, and he just has to re-record it. So we're just in the phases of re-recording stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. Get that done, AJ, or we're done.
Anyway, I'm ending the video because this is taking way too goddamn long.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Everybody.